In Kenya, the promise of a brighter future has often been dangled before the eyes of its youth. Successive governments have launched ambitious programs pledging employment opportunities and economic empowerment. Yet, time and again, these promises have dissolved into a mire of scandal, mismanagement, and disillusionment. This essay delves into the disheartening saga of Kenya's youth employment initiatives since 2017, examining the failures, financial implications, and the devastating impact on a generation yearning for a chance to thrive. The Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Program, or KYOP, launched in 2017, epitomizes this tragic narrative. Backed by a 9.2 billion shilling World Bank loan, KYOP aimed to create 90,000 jobs. However, it fell drastically short of its target, mired in allegations of corruption and inefficiency. The program's failure is a stark reminder of the chasm that often exists between lofty government rhetoric and the grim reality faced by ordinary Kenyans. KYOP's demise is not an isolated incident. It is merely one chapter in a disheartening saga of failed promises and squandered opportunities. From the relaunch of the Kazi Mtaani initiative to the Qatar police jobs fiasco, the pattern of disappointment is depressingly familiar. The hopes of countless young Kenyans have been dashed against the rocks of broken promises and systemic failures. The Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Program, or KYOP, was launched with much fanfare in 2017. It was touted as a game-changer, a comprehensive initiative designed to tackle youth unemployment head-on. The program aimed to equip young Kenyans with the skills and opportunities needed to secure gainful employment. KYOP's goals were ambitious, targeting 90,000 new jobs and providing training and mentorship to thousands of young people. However, the program soon became mired in controversy. Allegations of corruption, nepotism, and financial mismanagement surfaced with alarming regularity. Funds intended for training and job creation were allegedly siphoned off, leaving the intended beneficiaries high and dry. The program's implementation was also plagued by inefficiencies and a lack of transparency. The result was a program that failed to deliver on its promises. Far from creating 90,000 jobs, KYOP managed to generate only a fraction of that number. Many young people who enrolled in the program found themselves no better off than before. The KYOP debacle serves as a stark reminder of the challenges of translating well-intentioned policies into tangible results in a context of weak governance and endemic corruption. The KYOP debacle was not an isolated incident. It was followed by a string of other failed or poorly executed youth employment initiatives. The Kazi Mtaani program, initially launched as a short-term response to the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic, was relaunched with much fanfare. However, it too has been dogged by allegations of corruption and inefficiency, with many questioning its long-term impact on youth employment. The digital job training initiatives, touted as a key plank of the government's strategy to equip young people for the digital economy, have also fallen short of expectations. Budget cuts have severely hampered these programs, limiting their reach and effectiveness. The much-hyped plan to secure jobs for Kenyan youth in the Qatar police force ended in fiasco, leaving many young people who had incurred debts to travel agents stranded and disillusioned. The Vintmark travel agency job fraud, which saw hundreds of young Kenyans defrauded of millions of shillings, further eroded trust in government-backed employment schemes. The agency, which had promised lucrative jobs abroad, vanished with the life savings of many desperate job seekers. This incident highlighted the vulnerability of young people to unscrupulous actors seeking to profit from their desperation. The litany of scandals and failures in Kenya's youth employment initiatives has had a devastating impact on the country's young people. It has fueled cynicism, eroded trust in government, and left many young people feeling betrayed and abandoned. The long-term consequences of this disillusionment are profound, potentially leading to social unrest, increased crime rates, and a lost generation deprived of opportunities. Addressing this crisis requires a multi-pronged approach. Firstly, there is a need for greater transparency and accountability in the design and implementation of youth employment programs. This includes ensuring that funds allocated for these initiatives are used for their intended purpose and that corrupt officials are held accountable. Secondly, there is a need to move away from short-term, stopgap measures towards sustainable, long-term solutions. This means investing in education and skills development that equip young people with the skills needed for the jobs of the future. It also means creating an enabling environment for entrepreneurship and private sector growth, where young people can find decent work opportunities. Finally, there is a need to address the underlying structural factors that contribute to youth unemployment, such as poverty, inequality, and lack of access to education and healthcare. Addressing Kenya's youth unemployment crisis is not just a matter of economic imperative, it is a matter of social justice. It is about fulfilling the promise of a brighter future that has been made to generations of young Kenyans. It is about creating a society where every young person has the opportunity to reach their full potential and contribute to the nation's progress. The time for empty promises is over, the time for action is now.